is not my fault.
Oh my God.
We have a brand new game.
I was trying to contain myself. Oh my.
Go option one, not safe. These are insane.
And Brandon keep killing it.
What's good, creative fam? Brandon Washington here, and welcome back to another episode of Uncensored. Oh man, I feel like we're in that perfect time of the year where it's like we're just getting new stuff nonstop. Like every week I'm like, okay, there's no way next week we'll top it, and then this week we get even more new stuff. And it was obviously super helpful that we had IBC come up, which I think is why last week was such a jam-packed week. But now we're getting all of the updates from IBC. And so we are super excited to have you guys tuning in with us. And of course, when I say we, that is because I'm joined by amazing co-host, Mr. Jarrell Peak.
What's good, creative fam? This is my favorite part of Friday.
Yeah.
Hanging out with you guys and hanging out with you, Brandon.
Yeah, dude, it is, I mean, I don't even know how to really put it. Like, it feels like in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Uncensored, the show, the live chat, everything just seems to be doing this. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like, you guys are rocking with us and hanging out. We're even hanging out, not live, but, in the chats, I'm seeing more on, the clips and in the shorts. And then over on, we're on TikTok now. We're on Instagram now. And so, just having all these different places for us all to hang out, to me, it just makes it so much fun.
100%. And it doesn't help that the news cycle's popping.
Well, I think that's obviously a huge hurt. Yeah, it doesn't hurt. I think that's a huge part about it right now, because it's we are kind of in I guess they call it Techtober, but it's not really October yet. So Techtimber, I guess we'll call it. But it's crazy because we're used to seeing today is iPhone day, right? The new iPhone officially is out today. People are picking it up. I went and picked up one to review. But what's crazy is that I feel in the camera space, we're getting the same thing.
Oh, 100%. Dude, and I feel like it's because, and we're going to get to this, but because of IBC,
yeah.
Oh my gosh, so much stuff has dropped.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're super excited you guys are here this week. Let's go ahead and hop into the chat because we are live today.
Yes.
You know,
And we want to know where you're at.
yeah, we want to know
Where you
where
at?
you guys are at, what you're currently excited about, what gear have you seen? Let us know. Fire off in the chat. I'm going to go through the chat really quick because I do need to make one quick little disclaimer. 2 more weeks.
Oh, yes.
2 more weeks. So if you are somebody who tunes in and watches the Uncensored Show every single week on the Brandon Washington channel, not this week, not next week, but the following week will be the first time that we only live stream on the Uncensored YouTube channel. So
make sure you go over.
Yeah,
to
make
the-
sure you go over to the Uncensored channel.
Yeah, absolutely. And there you'll find clips and you'll find shorts. That's where you want to be.
Yes. Plus, we actually, like about a week and a half ago, or maybe it was a little over a week and a half ago, we do bonus streams there as well. So
Mhm.
anytime that we get like breaking news, like when the C80 was announced, we'll do like a bonus stream over on that channel. And so if you love this show, you like rocking with this show, and you want to stay up to date with it, the best place to be is over on the Uncensored channel. And do me a huge favor, Mr. Camera Junkie, if you can put a link to that in the chat. That would be super, super helpful. Speaking of Mr. Camera Junkie, he was our first commenter today. What's
First
up,
on the-
Mr. Camera Junkie?
First on the scene.
First on the scene. We're
Dude.
super excited to have you guys back this week.
I didn't know that he live streamed, and I caught his live stream this week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. He live streams. He's actually
Kills
one
it.
of the people who got me over on Ecamm.
Kills it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool.
And he helps me a lot. Like anytime I have a problem, I'll get on a call, and like even when I just call Ecamm directly, he just will be on that call too.
Yeah.
It's wild. He's definitely
He's
here
like
to
your
help.
lawyer.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, super excited to have you guys in here. Just shouting out a few people that we see in here. Carlos, welcome.
Yes. And Ron. Ron's always here.
Ron, so good to have
so
you
glad
back,
you're here, Ron.
dude. So happy to have you back here. Yeah, Ron saying congrats to Carlos for making it to a live stream.
Yes.
And yes, Mr. Camera Junkie, I think you threw it over on the Brandon Washington set of chat. That's one of the main reasons I think why we want to really put the show just on one channel is because now that we're kind of streaming to both simultaneously, what we have found is that there's like 2 different sets of conversations going on.
For sure.
And it just makes it much easier if we're all in one place.
And we can see both sets because of Ecamm,
Right.
but y'all can't see both sets of conversations. Yeah.
Exactly. And so
Yeah.
sometimes we'll be like reading it and we're like, what are they referencing? And it's like, oh, there's 2 totally different conversations happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, super excited that you guys are here. Currently, we have over 100 people rocking with us between the 2 channels. And so we are definitely having a blast this morning.
Put that comment up.
Which one? This one here?
Put that comment up.
All right, you got it. You got to read it, though.
Simple Light Media. It will take the crown if everyone switches to using it like they did when they all left Canon for the FX3, or like many next the KX for the FX3. Then and only then. You started
Yeah,
off pretty positive, and then you kind of went sideways. But I'll take that.
I think you read it. You wanted to read that. That's okay. You wanted it. That's yours.
I don't know.
Well, today I'm gonna quickly blitz through a couple of these comments because today we do have a special guest who actually was at IBC, and so I want to get him up on the call here any minute. But real quick, just a couple quick little shout out. Yes, you made it, and we're happy that you are here. Super
Yes.
excited that you're here. Mike, welcome. He says he always shows up late to the party, but not today. Today you're on time, so we appreciate you being here.
You're
are
gonna
always
get the full experience.
Yes, 11 o'clock Central Standard Time, 9 o'clock Pacific Time. We're always here. Same time every Friday. Happy Friday to everyone. Same with you, Nick. But yeah, I'm super, super excited. Just a couple quick shout outs. Sig, good to see you. Let's see. Oh, Cam has an idea who our guest is today. He says, can you guys ask the guest today why he paints his nails? Okay, Cam, just for you.
Throwback to TRL days and Carson Daly. We have Carson Daly on the pod today.
All right, and then let's see who else we got in here. Uncensored is lit. We appreciate that. Contrast Cinema. We're super pumped about today's episode. Is this actually live?
I don't know. Woo.
I don't know, Woo. I don't know if this is actually
and
live.
I just threw it out there. Is it Woo? Should we have gone with Felix?
My
bad.
Yes,
My bad if it's
we are definitely live. So shout out to everybody. We got people tuning in from London, People tuning in from all over the place.
Miami.
Sup, fellas? Yes, we got
Yummy,
Miami.
yummy.
Always, Mr. Camera Junkie tuning in from Miami. I need to get out there. I've never been.
It's fire.
I've gotten close.
South Beach is fire.
Yeah. But yeah, super pumped about today's episode. My gosh, all right.
We're behind.
Yeah, we're just gonna jump to the front because we got a jam-packed show for you guys today. But in case you guys did not know who we were talking about,
Yes.
Today we have a special guest. Now, I love it when this happens because this is actually not his first time on the show. But anytime I can get him on the show, I'm gonna try my best.
Absolutely.
And he's incredibly talented. In case you guys don't know, he is a DP, a lighting extraordinaire. I mean, every time I hang out with him, I just talk to him about like what he's currently working on and what he's doing, and I just try to steal little nuggets here and there. But recently, he got into his influencer game bag and went to Amsterdam, got a chance to represent a few companies that I personally love working with.
He got flown out.
You got a chance? Yeah, he got flown out.
He got flown out.
He got flown out, bro.
Slid into the DMs, flew him out.
But he got a chance to go experience IBC in person and Amsterdam in general in person. And so our special guest today is Mr. Brady Bessette. Let me unmute you, brother, but super excited that you're here today.
Am I live?
You're live, bro.
You can hear me? Look
This
at
is
this.
real.
It feels
It's
good
like
to be
live.
back, my friends.
All right, I got to do it for Cam. He wants to know, why do you paint the fingernails, bro?
It looks cool. That's all.
Look cool. You know what?
There we go.
I love the
Fresh
new
tat?
hand. I was about to say, I love the new hand tattoo.
Is that a fresh tat?
Check it out. Check it out. It's still crusty and everything.
Oh, is it peeling yet?
It peeled. I don't know how to grab the focus on it, but
Oh, it's all
you
good.
know,
Yeah, block it.
Sony's too good. It should recognize the face, no? There it is. There it is.
Sony's too good as
There
it
we go.
finds the focus slowly. No, dude. First off, how was Amsterdam? How was it?
Amsterdam is a blast, man. It's hard to compete because we were in Italy for the week prior, and Italy trumps Amsterdam. But Amsterdam was a blast. It's chaos. It's very similar, IBC show specifically comparable to like NAB. It's got a lot of similar vibes. So it was a blast. But as we know, NAB and Cinegear and all of these shows, it was like nonstop, just running around. So it was fun, but I'm ready to be home.
Yeah.
Is it what?
Is
Was
it
it-
better than Vegas though? Amsterdam?
Depends what you're looking for. I was looking for relaxing evenings, so it was a little bit better for that than Vegas is. I don't think that exists in Vegas.
Yeah.
Heck no. I don't think we ever sleep when we go to Vegas for NAB.
Mm.
But dude,
I'm
that
already
was really
prepping.
awesome. So I have a question for you, just to kind of set the stage. So when I saw the first
me.
thing I saw, obviously, I saw you on Instagram and you were showing off Italy, and then I was like, oh, I wonder if he's going out to IBC, but I know it was in Amsterdam. So then you jump ship over to Amsterdam for IBC, and were you there with Aputure? Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I was out there hanging out with Aputure, just hanging around the booth, just screwing around. I don't know if you guys saw me riding a overly expensive dolly for no reason at all. I was doing that for a good chunk of the day too.
Yeah, I saw that. Just riding through the convention floor. I also saw you were giving out lights.
Oh yeah.
I was giving out lights, and I still am giving out lights. There's more to come.
Okay.
That's
Make
all
sure-
I'm gonna
so-
say. YouTube this time.
Yeah, so make sure if y'all are not following Brady, make sure y'all go check him out over at his YouTube channel. But Brady, I gotta ask you, there's, when we go to NAB, it could be overwhelming. There's like so much gear, so much stuff coming out. For you, what was like really standing out? Because obviously I know there's a lot going on, and it felt like everybody released something new last week. So for you, what was like the thing that stood out?
I think that, and you mentioned it a little bit, but I'd say backtracking, comparing it to like NAB were a ton of launches. So I didn't expect companies to match that with even more launches like 6 months later. But there was still a good chunk of things that were exciting. I mean, you talked about it in the beginning of the 1200X that a lot of people got hands on. And I even learned more about it. Like, I've got one, and I went there and I learned more about it that I didn't know. So it was fun to be able to play around with the new things on top of it. But you also mentioned that Blazar's new Anamorphic that came out. So a fun backstory on that is that they told me, they were like, at IBC, we're going to have something to like show you in the back room, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, what is it? I had no idea what it was. And then I get there and I see the autofocus lens just out there, just in the open. And I was like, holy shit, is this it? And so that was one of the exciting things of being able to play around with the autofocus anamorphic, which is a totally new thing. I don't think anybody else does it. So that was another exciting thing. There were a few things here and there, but I don't think there was any like groundbreaking stuff. I know that Canon dropped the C80 either on IBC or close to. I don't know as much about the C80 or Canon as much, so I can't speak on it.
That's okay. No one
as much as I'd like to.
C80. We don't.
Okay.
We've got enough of that covered. Drill. I'm gonna give it. We got it. We've got enough C80 coverage on the show. Trust me. You don't have to speak about it whatsoever. But I know for me, like, I had heard like rumblings about maybe anamorphic coming to cinema lenses. Sigma obviously announced that they had a autofocusing cinema lens. And so I just got like, obviously as someone who got hands-on with it, what was the actual experience like seeing autofocus in a cinema lens, but more importantly, an anamorphic lens? Because I feel like for a lot of people, manually focusing is what keeps them out of certain lenses. So I feel like this could be very groundbreaking. What was it like to actually get hands-on with it?
It goes back and forth for me because, as you guys know, I do small things where it's just me and I like desperately need autofocus, or I'm on bigger film sets. So it goes back and forth. But playing around with the autofocus, I went from like low hopes to actually being impressed with it and excited about it. And reason being is because it's a Super 35 and it's a 1.3x squeeze. So meanwhile, I'm like, all right, that's off the table. But I was there, so I figured I'd play around with it. So me with a lot of my go-to stuff, I'm running on FX3, so autofocus is great to have with that. So I just put it on and I was playing around, and immediately it doesn't even look like it feels very comparable to the Remus as far as like squeeze factor and look to it. It doesn't look like who ruined it for me, like the 1.3 stretch was like Surui back in the days. Like the first 1.3, I was like, I don't care about it. It looks terrible. So immediately I had a bad taste. But Blazar being Blazar they were like, I'm not going to tell you how it's done, but there's some secret sauce in there. Okay. So I was like, all right, I'll play around with it. And it's got like it still has that barrel distortion look and all of that. So I was like, all right, I'm sold on it. And then being Super 35, you've got the clear image zoom on my Sony, crops out the vignetting a little bit. So that kind of saved me. It's not like a direct replacement to a full frame, but like if it's there and it works, yeah, I'm going to use it. So playing around with it, it worked actually really, really well. I think that they announced to me like there was a prototype, like it's early on, there's bugs to fix where like it just wouldn't track the face or anything like that. But for the most part, it was working, and it was working well. And it's nice for like, say, dock pickup stuff or run and gun stuff where you don't have an AC, but you need to make sure your focus is sharp. And maybe you're matching it on the project with the Remus for other scenes, for like interviews or whatever. I think that it's a great addition to it all.
Yeah.
Brady, I've got a quick question. I'm going to put your feet to the fire. Which autofocus system is better, the DJI LiDAR or the autofocus from the Apex, from the Anamorphic? What would you say it works better, or how close would you compare the two?
I'm going to go from an overall like entire workflow thing, because I've got the DJI LiDAR and I played around with that. And immediately I would, lens choice depending, it's almost like apples and oranges. Say it's just like you're using one and the other and you got the same look. I would go for the Blazar because you connect it to camera and it's just good. You don't have to like track each lens, and you don't have to swap it all out, and you don't have all the finickiness of it. And then the autofocus performance, sometimes DJI is kind of finicky. Like it doesn't exactly know how to read, especially when things are backlit. So I would say the Blazar, but then that backtracks to like that part B of the question of like, well, I can use any Cine lens that I want with the DJI LiDAR.
Yeah.
So that's got the upper edge, but it's kind of at the cost of setting everything up. And if you've got, like, if you're familiar with it, it's quick and easy. But if you're not too familiar with the product, it takes a good 20 minutes to get everything dialed in.
Brady,
So I could go back and forth.
That's a very large stamp of approval for the Apex, in my eyes.
Yeah, am I going to get canceled for that?
No,
nobody sees this.
Nobody watches this show.
Dude,
Nobody watches this show.
So what is that? What is that 150 up there? I don't know.
That's such a huge, to me, that's such a huge stamp of approval on their prototype Apex. Like your first go around of autofocus on a lens.
I'll say I'm also like, that bar is a little bit higher as far as like how impressed I am, because getting down to like, I guess like light physics or whatever, like anamorphic lenses, it's hard to autofocus because it's squeezing the lens and it's squeezing light, and then you got to de-squeeze it later. So the sensor can't really read as easily. That's at least why I think they went for the 1.3 squeeze at first, because if you're totally crunching this image, autofocus sensors, like cameras almost, I feel like would need to get up to speed with that to be able to work for that, because it's at the end of the day just reading a squeezed image. It's like reading a book where everything is like tightened up. It's not going to be as easy. So that's why they probably went for the 1.3. I think that, and this is all kind of off of I know this is an early on prototype. It is not out and ready yet. There are still things that need to be fixed and ironed out, but I think that it's a very great foot in the door for what is also possible. And they've done it kind of with a pretty heavy foot as well.
Yeah, I feel like to the point that you made, like if we start seeing cinema lenses, because like spherical cinema lenses are going to be easier to manufacture when it comes to like autofocusing than than anamorphic will be, because of that squeeze factor. But to Brady's point, I personally feel like if we can see like cinema lenses getting autofocusing technology built into them, if they're good enough, I don't think we even need a DJI LiDAR type system, because like the whole purpose of DJI LiDAR system is to be able to give you autofocusing technology to manual focus lenses. Well, the easiest way to do that is just put the autofocus technology inside of those manual focus lenses. One question I did have, and I don't know if you got a chance to talk to him about the technical aspects of this, but like obviously with a cinema lens of spherical or anamorphic, you're literally turning the barrel and that's adjusting your focus, right? But when you have it switched into autofocus, is there some type of like autofocus by wire that's happening inside of the camera, and then when you switch it to manual focus, you go back to actually turning the barrel? Or like, do you know how that system is currently working?
For the Blazar?
Yeah, for the Blazar specifically.
It's got to be something electronic, because it didn't feel like there was a major switch when I switched it. Like on the barrel, it didn't feel like anything was like physically switching over. So I'm assuming when you switch in manual focus, it's probably some sort of electronic. I don't know if it's like what Sony's have internally or whatever. I didn't really ask because I figured that not many people would tell me the answers. But it felt like it was a hybrid between like a G Master and Blazar's anamorphics in a way of like how it felt and functioned. And it was light. It was really light. Like a lot, like noticeably lighter than the Remus.
Gotcha. That's wild. I feel like that we are seeing, like, it feels like this year, not only are we seeing like just like crazy advancements in cameras and in gear in general, but we're also seeing like price reductions like we've never seen before. And now we're kind of getting that next step of it, which is just like brand new technology that just like, you know, a year ago didn't exist. Like the idea of a autofocusing cinema lens, let alone an autofocusing anamorphic lens, didn't even.
The idea of a beautiful budget anamorphic lens, period.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even a thing 2 years ago.
Price point, like even like a full kit for such an affordable price point, just felt so unobtainable.
They feel like they're innovating too fast. It's like, boom, incredible lens. Boom, incredible new set of lenses. Boom, autofocus. Like, it's awesome. Like, it's a great time to be alive, but holy crap, they're innovating so fast.
Yeah, I feel like Blazar as a company, they definitely like they're moving so fast, but I wonder if it's like because they also have their pulse like on the manufacturing side of things. They're like, we gotta go right now.
They
Like,
have their pulse
Yeah.
on Cam Mac.
yeah. Well, I think
Hey, Cam is who put me onto them. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
He showed me them, and I was just like, he told me he's like, it's this new company, it's a budget anamorphic, and I literally was like, oh, I don't care about that. And like I was like, it's just another budget anamorphic. And then I didn't even care. He's like, you want to put it on your camera? I was like, not really. And then I saw his clips like 3 days later of it, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, this thing is sweet.
Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, Cam normally has a pretty good insight, especially on anamorphic. Now that's like his whole thing.
Whole thing.
It's his brand.
Camera doesn't have a open gate. It's not even in his wheelhouse. So speaking of, I know you were there obviously to look at. You were obviously there for Aputure, and like you said, you have the 1200X, and this is a light that like personally, me and Jarrell have been going back and forth on, because it's like
Just go forth.
Just go. Oh gosh.
No, seriously. I was like last week, I was like, Brandon, talk me off the ledge. Talk me off the ledge, because I'm about, like, I want that. Is obviously you're going to probably say no to this because you light things and you have tons of lights, but it feels like the 1200X is one light to rule them all.
Yes, with a little star next to it. And let me nerd out, and I'll talk about why. I'll talk about why you wouldn't need it, and I'll talk about what's great about it. Why you wouldn't need it: size and budget. Like if you're doing run and gun indie stuff, you and maybe one other person, or you're the one lighting, don't get it. It's too big. It's large. You need heavier grip for it. You can't just use like a C stand. You got to have a bigger grip, like a combo stand. So it takes a bigger footprint. Great part is you can still plug it into house power like the 1200D, but yeah, it's just a larger footprint. So if you're doing things that you don't have the time for that, it's probably not for you. Also, if you're doing things like where you're not battling daylight all the time, like trying to expose for bright windows or trying to get hard sun slashes or whatever, you probably don't need it because it's a bright light. Equivalent wise, HMIs, for whoever's familiar, it's a notch brighter than an M18, which is very impressive for something that can be run off of house power. So it's a bright fixture. So it's like, if you need that brightness, great, that's for you. But if not, if you're running with like a 600 watt, 300 watt kit, it's kind of like that works better. And like a lot of the times I'll pull like a 600 because it's just easier and smaller. I can throw it up fast and lightweight. But
Tell me the good stuff. Tell me the good stuff.
But listen, I love my 1200Ds. I use them all the time on sets, and I always pull them. They're bright, they're punchy. I always wish they're a little bit brighter, and something just didn't feel full about it. And that hole is exactly what this X filled. So in a nutshell, same price as the 1200D, brighter than the 1200D across all of the range, from 2500 Kelvin to 10,000 Kelvin. You've got green magenta shift, so you don't have to battle like daylight, whatever, stuff like that. I don't know how to explain it. It feels fuller because of their new like color science. It's that Blazar color engine as opposed to just traditional white. So it gets you even closer to this real look of daylight. It's a lot fuller of light, and I can't unless you guys want me to go into the deeper tech specs of how that all works, I won't bore anybody of it. But I think that bottom line for me is whenever I use the 1200Ds, I'd always have to gel it a little bit to warm it up because I'm using that for hot sun. And it just still never felt exactly as bright as I needed it to. And then I used the 1200X on it and I could warm it up to like 4,000 or whatever, get that sun look. And it was bright. Like I want to say, don't quote me on it, maybe 25% brighter than the 1200D. Yeah. And it's the same price. So they kind of just killed the 1200D in a way. I don't know if it was intentional or an accident, but they definitely did because I'm like, I want to get rid of mine and just replace them with the X's.
Dude, I was on a shoot this week and I have my 600D from Aputure and I was outside.
Which is still a killer light.
It's a killer light, but you want more when you're outside. Like you want more. I was at 100%. I had to pull the inner diffusion. I had to pull the outer diffusion off the softbox, and it was still like barely at 6 stops of ND. So anyways, I was like, I need this, Brandon. I need it. I need it.
I think at first
I don't need it, but I want
I tried to talk you off the ledge. And then I started doing more and more research. And I think I might have talked you off, but at the same time walked myself up there.
He's like, let me trade places with you. You get down there. I'm gonna stay here for a second.
Like, oh, you're fine. You don't need it. And I was like, because it's great. Oh, wait a minute. Why am I up here now? That's literally where I found.
But the thing is, like, I don't know who saw my video that I did with it, that nostalgia one of like super warm, hard sun.
Oh, yeah.
I did that with it. And then like I had that light outside, like 15 feet away from the window in a different room. And then I saw some stuff in the kitchen, which was across the house. And I was like, this one feels like real sunlight is coming through the house. Just like, when like you've got that sliver of light that makes it from one room window all the way to the other room. And it's just like this beautiful natural sunlight. It's got that look because it's so bright. So not only is it, good quality, but it can throw far. And that's the difference that when I'm trying to emulate real sunlight, the thing with like a 600 or a 300 is like, yes, it's bright here, but in 10 feet, it's not. That's not like how the sun behaves. So being able to have a hot source really far, it's going to be bright here and bright there. And that's what I really like about it. So if you can budget for that footprint on set, or budget for the budget, because it is a pricey light, it's like you said, kind of a do-all with a little star next to it.
Yeah.
Well, I know people have questions. So really quick, before we hop into sort of our next area, chat, if you have questions for Brady about IBC, anything that he's talked about so far, do me a huge favor. Go ahead and throw those in the chat. But like typical, put a little Q, a little dash, and then put your questions. That way we can find them faster. Yeah.
Also, I got to say, my coffee just hit, so make them hard. Like, make them juicy, because now I feel good. So, like, I was sitting there, and I was like, damn, I feel nice. So, make them good.
All right. So, yeah, any questions that you guys have? Jarrell.
Yes.
Do you have any questions?
Dude. So, I did watch your last video. Where you had the 1200X, you hazed up I'm assuming your house, or maybe a different house or whatever.
It was a friend's house. It's beautiful.
Yeah. The nostalgia was great. Now, from there, like any major drawbacks on that shoot when shooting with a 1200X, anything that like, as you were working with the light, trying to shoot, and it didn't maybe perform the way that you thought it would, or just anything that you found quirky about the light?
That is a good question. I think that there wasn't anything like detrimental that stuck out. Mm-hmm. The size is one thing. Going back to it, like if I was just me and Erica, my behind the scenes shooter, that was it. So I would have to run out and make big moves of this light to other windows, and that was one thing. But that's, as you get bigger, it's just inevitable. You can't fight that.
For sure.
I don't think so. Like, nothing, like maybe I wished it was brighter so I could throw it further, but that's just, you can't do that yet. Like,
yeah.
And it's still in a house outlet. So those are very small things. There's nothing where I was like, oh, I wish that would have changed. Maybe if I'm shooting with it again, I start to run into things like that. But nothing major, really.
And then last question, because Ted wouldn't talk about this at IBC, but do you know anything about that, what do they call it? That pancake Fresnel, or that compact Fresnel?
Yes. Well, yes and no. I saw it and I had the same question. I was like, what is that? Because right before you asked that, I was about to say, but I wish there was a different modifier that could use all of the chip.
Yeah.
So to backtrack, like with the old Fresnels that would come, like the ones with the 600D or whatever, they're not optimized for bigger lights, because it's like putting a crop sensor lens on a full frame sensor. It's just not going to use all of the sensor. So likewise, this modifier is not going to use all of the light chip, so it's dimmer and you don't get all the output for it. So now when Aputure is making their lights bigger and brighter, they don't have many modifiers that work for it. They've got the huge F14, which is just not practical unless you're in like a rental house, but then they don't have anything like a small Fresnel, So I saw that and I was like, what is that? And it was really like, it was a 3D printed prototype of a Fresnel that was just thrown on there just kind of like to get the attention. I'm surprised that a lot of people caught on to it. I don't know much about it except for the fact that I really liked it and it looked really nice on that 1200X.
Were they demoing it at all or no?
It was just there.
It just on
Play around with it as you like. Yeah.
That's cool.
They just kind of popped it on, like kind of how originally, like how Blazar just set it out. They told me, they're like, we weren't going to put it out, but we're like not getting a lot of traffic, so I'm just going to put it out here. And then it just like snowballed. Because I not to sidetrack, we'll get back to the 1200X, but like I put out that reel that's like, I don't know if I'm supposed to show you this. And everyone roasted me. They're like, Cine D did a review of, like, you're not leaking it. Like everyone did, like commented like, if it's out. But when I went there, I shot that day one. I went there and they were just like, yeah, we're not talking about it, but we're not getting a lot of traffic. So it's just here if people see it. So throughout the course of the show, that just changed drastically to being like a public launch. So same thing for that little pancake. It was just there.
For sure.
Yeah, I feel like Aputure does that every now and again. Like I remember, gosh, it was maybe 2019 when like the first Nova got announced. They just like had it just sitting inside of a glass box. And everyone was just like, what is that? And they were like, oh, it's just there.
I don't know.
You're just like talking.
It just is.
And like the first day they had it like covered with like a little black, cloth. And then like, so like, you're like, oh, what is it? What is it? And then they had their Aputure, dinner or whatever. And then the next day on the floor, it's just there. And like, they're like, we're not talking about it. It's just, we just want you to know, like,
it's just there.
Just look.
You know what I was thinking on a real quick rabbit trail? I was like, what if these companies just like, you know how like companies will share and be like, this booth can take the Alexa to promote like Ari and stuff like that. Yeah. What if instead of putting it at their booth, it's just an Easter egg? Like there's a brand new product randomly in somebody's booth, like lighting somebody's like portrait or whatever shot at like a lens booth is like a brand new Aputure light that nobody knows about. And if they see it, great. But I don't know. I was like, that would be such a fun way.
That would be hilarious.
Brady, head of marketing.
There you go. All right.
Thank you.
We do have a few questions that did come in.
Hit me.
Let's go ahead and rapid fire through these. You don't have to spend too much time on them. But one question came in. It says, did you visit the Black Magic booth?
I did. I walked in, I did a circle, and I walked out. That's all I did.
The real camera?
Supposedly. I don't know if they just got like a plastic box around like one of their old cameras. I'm not sure, but no, I didn't spend too much time there because it felt similar to, also you can see my dog's nose peeking in right there. It felt very identical to the NAB booth that I spent a lot of time at. So I was like, nothing has changed. Yeah, I'll walk out.
Yeah, the only thing we really want to change from Blackmagic at this point is to actually ship the Pixuses.
Did you see the monitor?
Yeah, no, they told me they're shipping them in like 2045.
Why did I think he was giving us real information?
Brady, did you see their monitor? Was it there?
No, I didn't. Now that I'm thinking about it, I should have played around with it, but I haven't seen it. I haven't even looked much on it yet.
We can tell your enthusiasm level is at an all-time high.
Is it cool? Dude, I'm at the point where like when gear drops, I don't learn about it until I've got a friend who's like, dude, this thing is so sweet. You like, it's this and it's this and that. Otherwise, I'm just like, yeah, I heard they dropped something. So,
all right. Next question is coming in from Contrast Cinema. It says, if you could only use one light brand, what would it be? Ugh, that's a tough one.
I guess Aputure. Okay, well,
I feel like it's hard to have any gripper DP because like there's certain things that like Aputure does some stuff really well, but I feel like
there's things that they don't have yet where it's like you need So it's like if I had to choose one, it would be Aputure because it checks 90% of the boxes. But there's other things like there's things that Nanlite has that Aputure doesn't necessarily have, or I just like better of. There's things that Lightmat has out kind of because they just dropped the Infinimat, but still you get the point. Like different brands have different things that work great. So a lot of the kit I have and like to use and I'm familiar with is Aputure. And also like, unless you're doing DMX, which I don't do a lot of DMX, having everything connected to your phone on Sidus Link through the same light is helpful as well. because I've been on shoots with like a nan light and a not even app compatible light and Aputure, and it's like, all right, let me change this one, change the app, go to the other, whatever.
Yeah.
So it is easier.
You're fighting me on this.
I'm not touching it now.
This mouse.
I'm not touching it now. I'm out.
All right. Next question we have is, so what would you value the use of the 1200D, or are you gonna keep?
No, I think he's saying like what is the 1200D use cost? I think that's what he's saying. What would be the value?
Well, Scotty, if you message me directly, I might give you a nice chunk of a discount. But I would say, I mean, with the new 1200X coming out, I think they matched it at like $34.99. Now I would say 1200D probably drops to maybe like $2,500.
That seems like a good deal too, though. All right, here's another one. Do you honestly need to get rid or do I honestly need to get rid of my 1200D?
No. Short answer,
paying the price again.
Brady.
Short answer, no. Yes.
Just to update you, it's actually $2,990. It's $500 cheaper.
Wait, hold on. Of the 1200D?
The 1200X is $2,990. It's $500 cheaper than you thought.
It's under 3K?
Yes.
All right, well, Aaron, my answer changes. Yes, it's 100%.
The 1200D is now worth $1,000.
Yeah, we got to change. Let's just backtrack everything. 1200D is worth $550. That's it. No, it's a lie. It's a lie. Is it worth getting rid of it? No. I'd say that the 1200D is still a great fixture. If you've got a workflow that you use it and it works, great. But if you always find yourself being like, oh, I'm gelling it, it's a pain in the ass, it's not ever like quite bright enough, maybe you could be in the boat where like it is a better light. It's newer. The 1200D is probably 4 years old or so. So it's like LED is changing so fast. There's a lot of new changes to it. Or gelling, like green magenta gels, stuff like that. If you're in an environment where like daylight never really matches, like sometimes you get daylight through trees, it renders green, you got to match it, etc. Having the green magenta shift is nice as well. So it's really asking yourself your workflow of like, do I actually need this? Because it does have perks, but the 1200D, it doesn't negate the fact that it's still a great light just because a new one came out.
All right, this next question is a lens-based question, so we'll see. But Drew, I'll let you read this one off.
This is your juicy question.
You said that coffee was
good. Get them juicy, guys. We need juicier.
I was debating the Vespids or the dual lens APO minis, which are fantastic, but the new RLs are like a dream, although the price, size, and weight is a big difference. Any thoughts between the three?
I'm glad I went to IBC because I visited the dual lens booth for the first time ever. Spent a few minutes there, and I was absolutely not impressed at all. It was like the most underwhelming thing. Juicy. For me, at least. I was like, there's nothing about them that really sticks out. Vespids, I love those Vespids. And then the RLs are a different market as well. So we'll break into that. Not to say that the dual lens are totally trash. They've got that very vintagey soft look. But to me, it's like everything is soft and there's not a lot of character. And maybe with flaring, there's some character, but they didn't really appeal to me. So I'm like, whatever. I would take the Vespids though. I love those. They're very buttery smooth, kind of like Cook-esque, you could say. Maybe I'm wrong for saying that. But they just have this really nice, gentle, soft character to them that I really like. And then the RLs kind of keep that character, but in a very like super speed, sharp way. So I don't know the price point difference between the RLs and the Vespids. I think that the Vespids are quite a bit cheaper, but I think that they're great. Especially because they've got a lot of focal lengths. They've got like a 10 or 11 lens set. So if it comes down to money, Vespids. If it comes down to size, Vespids. But the RLs are also very, very gorgeous for like maybe a more do-all, corporate-y or characteristic lens, just because they do have that very fast but very sharp look.
If you were to throw in the Athena Primes in that, what would you do? I'm just wondering. Just asking for a person.
This is the most selfish question ever.
Just asking.
This feels very skewed. I think maybe we talk about this later. It sounds like you just want to know.
This does not help anyone but you, Jarrell.
Real quick, I love the Athenas. I love my set. They're growing in like focal lengths, which is awesome. I would still pick Vespids over the Athenas, but the Athenas are a great, affordable option to own and operate out of. Like, I will pull my Athenas all the time instead of renting, just because they look really nice and they're fast. The 14, it doesn't match the character. Like, 14 is fun because it's wide, but it doesn't feel the same as the rest of the set.
Gotcha.
But at IBC, speaking of new things, I think they leaked something as well, or just kind of had it out there, because they had like a tuned Athena that had different coatings and kind of a different build as with everything that they're releasing soon, of kind of their initial 5-lens set, where it's like instead of black, it's like a silver wash coating, and it had just a little bit more like vintage character of like soft bokeh, more rainbow flares.
There was a company at Cinegear that was doing
V35. They do that as well.
Yeah, so I was wondering. I saw that Nisi had that at their booth, and I wasn't sure if that was one of the V35s or if
that's what caught my eye.
Yeah, so I don't know if Nisi's doing it themselves or if
they are.
Oh,
yeah, because V35 it's expensive. So it's like I've talked with them prices and stuff, and it's like $2,500 a lens to do it, not to buy it. Yeah, so you're out $6,000 for the set, and then you do it for another 5-lens set. What's 25 times 5 is another $12,000 or something like that. So you're paying $18,000, $19,000 or whatever. I'm bad at math. You get the point. For this, still considered a budget spherical. Yeah, so I'm like, that's a tough market to get into. For Nisi to do it for maybe like an upsell of like 500, that seems a lot. Yeah. I would say that maybe that V35s did have a little bit more fun look to them, but it was tough to tell because I was just at a booth with like basic fluorescent lights everywhere. So they both look fun. I think that I would love to play around with that Nisi's version at some point as well. But I if it came down to spending an extra $12,000 or an extra $1,000, I'm probably going to go with the extra $1,000 and just bite the bullet on that.
No, I think that makes sense. All right, we're going to lightning round through the rest of these really quickly. All right, so try to keep your answers nice and short so we can try to
I don't know how to do that, but yeah, I'll try.
Do your best. I got faith in you. All right.
He'll cut me off.
Top 3 things you saw at IBC.
See, I can't.
Not in order.
Okay.
Top 3.
Top 3 things. Apex autofocus lens. Shit, I really didn't look around much. I'm just gonna say 1200X and the freaking vintage Athena, because I really didn't look. I didn't walk the floor and investigate. So I take that with a grain of salt.
No, I think that's good. All right, next question. How many of the 1200Xs would you get yourself?
Depending on the project I'm doing, either 100 or 500, but I think I can settle for 3.
Send out a pallet. Send out 5 pounds.
They're sick. I think 2 or 3 is a great thing. 2 or 3 is a great amount.
All right, Drew, you want to read this one off?
Yes. Is Neewer a viable light brand? I bought the CB60B bicolor to start with. Am I okay to stick with as I get more lights?
Do you even use Neewer? Have you ever used Neewer?
Dude, Neewer was my first light, like that 1 foot panel that everybody had. That's the only Neewer light that I've had and also learned anything about. So I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They've got budget on their side. I'm sure it's a great light, but I feel like all of those brands are suddenly like, let's put out a 60-watt bicolor light and using the same chip with a different body. That's all I know. I could be wrong. I'm sure having a light is better than not having a light. So if it comes down to affordability, yes, it's great. Keep with it. But if you can afford something like Neewer, whatever, yeah, cut me off. You get the point.
Next question. Autofocus or manual focus shooting for the rest of your life? What you doing?
Manual.
Jarrell, are you feel insulted?
I don't know.
He's biting his tongue.
Why the hate for Black Magic?
Why do you
I've got no hate for Black Magic. As of recent especially, I love B-Raw color science, but I hate that I don't have the Pixis in my hands because I want the Pixis. So it's not hate, it's just FOMO.
Just FOMO. I love it.
Yeah, just FOMO.
And then I think that was it. That was it. All right. Those are all the ones that had Q's next to them.
Yes. If you didn't put a Q, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Now, Jarrell has
Brandon's moving on from you.
Why you gotta throw me under the bus?
I didn't move on. I ain't got the mouse.
Jarrell's got. We do have more stuff we have to get into today.
Oh yeah, 100%. Hey, Brady, you want to play the game?
Well, based off of how you said I'm gonna be all right, and I think I'm gonna be screwed earlier, I don't know if I want to play it, but yeah, let's play a game.
All right, so for those of you guys who haven't rocked with us for a while, we used to do games on the show weekly.
Yes.
And we normally used to try to bring them up whenever we'd have a guest on because it would kind of lighten it up. Jarrell has always been the master of ceremonies when it comes to the game. So today I'll let you sort of break down what today's game is, sort of like just explain it. I have a rough idea, but I really need you to explain it because you didn't really do a good job before the show letting me know. So I need you to tell me, what are we doing today?
Alrighty. So chat, this is not just a game for Brady and for Brandon. This is a game for you too. It's going to be a trivia game, and we need you guys to flex your DSLR knowledge. It's going to be a trivia game. We are going to alternate questions, multiple choice, and we're going to give Brady and Brandon a chance to answer one apiece, and there'll be 5 questions for each of them. And then we'll be able to see at the end who has the most points and who wins. And obviously, people in the chat, we want to know what your score is going to be. And so, are you guys ready to throw it back to circa 2008?
Wait, all the questions are DSLR based questions?
All DSLR. We are flexing your knowledge.
Or the lack thereof.
Or the lack thereof. Alrighty. I need you guys to rock, paper, scissors on stream to see who goes first. You guys ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
1, 2, 3, shoot. Okay, here we go. This is gonna be delayed like crazy. 1,
2, 3. Shoot. No, we gotta do this again.
All right, one more sad time. 1, 2,
2, 3. You take it. You go.
All right.
All right. I don't even want to go first.
All right, Brandon.
Yes.
What does DSLR stand for?
Holy shit.
You ready for this?
Wait, do I have multiple choice, right?
Yes, multiple choice. A, digital single lens reflex. B, digital system lens reflex. C, dual single lens reflex. D, digital shutter lens reflex.
I know it's not C.
Dual single.
It's dual single. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Digital. Wait, what was what was A and B again?
A was digital single lens reflex or digital system lens reflex.
Oh,
Don't look at the chat. Don't look at the chat.
Yeah, I'm closing the chat. I'm going to be fair.
A?
That is correct.
Yeah. Shout
All
out,
right,
Mike.
Brady. You ready for this? All righty.
Yeah,
Brady,
hit me.
First question for you. Which part of the DSLR controls the amount of light that hits the sensor? Is it A, the shutter speed, B, ISO, C, aperture, or D, the focus? One more time. Which part of the DSLR controls the amount of light that hits the sensor? A, shutter speed, B, ISO, C, aperture, or D, the focus?
See, that's a little bit of a little squishy question there because the answer is A, but you could argue aperture because it does affect the amount of light coming through the lens, but that's because it's the lens, not the camera. I'm going with A. Shutter.
C.
What?
It chose aperture. That's what they said. That's what they said.
I don't know about that.
I do agree with you.
Because the shutter, they all affect light. ISO
Absolutely.
is the sensitivity, so disregard that. But the aperture is not part of the camera, but it does control how much light comes through. The shutter is like open, close.
I think
that's how much
I think you give him the point.
Because it did say DSLR. It did not say lens. So I do.
That's a trick question.
That is tricky. Yes, I give a point to both of you.
I would fight that one for you too, Brady.
I can't wait to see people in the comments say that I'm actually wrong. So,
no, it looks like they're agreeing with you. Alrighty, Brandon, kind of a softball question. I hope.
Don't say that, because then if I get it wrong, It's gonna be 10 times worse.
I hope Brady gets a softball question. All right, you ready for this?
No.
What is the primary advantage of using a DSLR over a point and shoot camera? Okay, you lock that in.
Mm-hmm.
What is the primary advantage? A.
Softball question, don't forget.
Pressure. Higher megapixels. B. Interchangeable lenses. C. Larger body. D. Built-in flash.
That's trash because it has all of those things. I'm gonna go interchangeable lens, but I'm.
And you're correct.
Oh god.
Point and shoots don't have interchangeable lenses.
They don't, but I guess I'm just looking for the one thing that's different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What is the primary advantage? Interchangeable lenses. Wow.
These are weird.
Was that so much pressure?
There was a lot because you called it a softball.
I won't say anything. I won't say anything anymore. Alrighty. This is a really hard one, Brady. Oh man, why? Oh no. Yeah, you did get a softball. You got a softball. Which of these factors? Chat, how y'all doing? Y'all okay, good.
They're getting it.
All right. Which of these factors is not directly controlled by the camera settings? A. Shutter speed. B. Weather conditions. C. Aperture. D. ISO.
What the hell?
I told you. I'm so glad.
This is a T-ball question, not even a softball question.
Is
shutter
D your
speed?
Answer?
Lock it in. Shutter speed.
What'd you say?
Definitely not weather conditions.
We will take your sarcasm as the. Okay, yeah, you're right. Weather conditions. All right. 5. Oh, Brandon, you had softball, but now you don't. What is the typical size of a full frame DSLR sensor? Ready? The typical size of a full frame DSLR sensor, is it A, 24 millimeters by 36? Is it B, 18 by 24 millimeters? C, 22 by 30 millimeters? Or D, 28 by 42 millimeters? Would you like a repeat?
You can try.
A, 24 millimeters by 36 millimeters. Are you stalling for the chat? This man's stalling for the chat, bro.
I just want to make sure everybody has time to hear the question.
Is it A, 24 millimeters by 36 millimeters? Or is it B, 18 by 24, 22 by 30, 28 by 42?
Now, if I were a Googling man, chat, please. I would probably say, how long is the delay between when we're live and then when the chat gets it? What was 36 by 24? Which answer was that one?
That was A.
That was A? Okay, I'm getting 2 for A. I'm going to go. I just have a gut feeling that it might be A.
Mr. Camera Junkie, you are correct.
Wait. Hey, Mr. Camera Junkie, Rumen, I appreciate y'all.
That's 3 to Brady's 2.
First off, Mike, it's not.
No,
cheap.
that's 2 to 2, and then 1 to Camera Junkie.
All right,
we're all playing.
Okay, I hope this is
I hope it's hard.
Oh, gosh, wow. We're gonna have to go into tiebreaker. All right, sudden death. No, not yet. But which DSLR setting controls the sensitivity of the camera's sensor to light? Would you like the A,
ISO,
B, C, or D? That is
ISO
correct.
or ASA.
That is correct. ISO.
Such trash.
But
That's
what is let's extend it to the chat while we read off the next one. What does ISO and ASA stand for? And
this is not your
bonus
game,
dollar goes to that. It's my game now.
Dude, it's actually really like really nerdy. I knew it at one point in time. It's somebody's it's like the international standard or something. I don't know. What is it, Brady?
International standard of organization.
Yeah. It's something that you
and I
think
ISO stands for International Standard of Organization.
Yeah, it's stupid.
They created the standard or whatever, and so they named it after themselves, not after the camera function sensitivity or whatever.
That
or Brady can better explain it.
That's pretty much, yeah. It's just some sort of like organization thing just leaking down into now. And then ASA, I think, is American Standard Association or something like that. American's version of it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really pick up. And then there's EI, which is Exposure Index.
Yes.
but I don't know the units for that. I think it's the
Okay.
same. Anyway, nerdy.
Do you want to know if this is easy or hard?
I don't care.
Okay.
Well, you said we'll need a tiebreaker, so we'll see.
So mine
this
better
is
be
the
easy and yours
this
better
the
be really hard.
No, there's 2 more questions, so it's 3-3. All right.
Oh, I got the point. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you got the point.
Oh,
Yeah, you got the point. Okay. In photography, what does the term bokeh or bokeh or is there another?
I don't know. That's good enough.
What does the term bokeh refer to? A, the sharpness of the photo. B, the blur effect in and out of focus areas. C, the color saturation. Or D, the contrast of the image.
What was B again?
It was the blur effect in
Let's go.
out of focus areas. What do you say, Mr. Camera Junkie? I'm just kidding. Brandon, that is correct. All righty. Brady, which mode on a DSLR allows the camera to automatically set the aperture and shutter speed while leaving the photographer to control other settings? Is it A, manual, B, shutter priority, C, program, or D, aperture priority?
Hit me with the question one more before I lock that in.
Yes, it is kind of a technical. Which mode on a DSLR allows the camera to automatically select the aperture and shutter speed, leaving the
Program.
photographer to control other settings? Is it A, manual, B, shutter priority, C, program, or D, aperture priority?
C, program.
Nice. All righty. Wow. This is coming down to the final question. You ready for this?
Yeah, how are we handling the
Don't-
last question?
Don't stop. No. Well, you guys, it's 4-4.
Ruben, what are you doing?
Okay.
What is Ruben doing in the chat?
He's like P program. All righty. 8 or 9. You ready?
Yeah.
What part of the DSLR allows the photographer to preview the scene through the lens? Is it A, the sensor, B, the viewfinder,
Baby.
C, the LCD screen, or D, the reflex mirror?
Oh, wait, what? Wait. I was super confident real
what?
fast for no reason.
What part of the DSLR allows the photographer to now keywords photographer to preview the scene through the lens?
It's the viewfinder. I'm going with the viewfinder. If I lose
the
on
sensor, the viewfinder, the LCD screen, or the reflex mirror, you're going viewfinder. Brady, do you have a alternative guess?
The photographer. I mean, that's a weird question because it depends on how you look at it. Because the reflex mirror bends or brings the light up to the viewfinder, but then if you switch to the LCD screen in live view, you see it. It's all the above because
So
the
what
sensor.
are you locking in? What are you locking in?
E, all the above.
The reflex mirror.
That's a trash question.
Brady, are you going to give it to him like Brandon gave it to you?
No, because he said viewfinder.
Brady's like, I'm out to win, bro. Alrighty.
Well,
Brady.
this has been fun, guys. You guys enjoy the rest of
No,
your
Brady
show?
could get this wrong.
Okay.
He could get this wrong.
I'm giving you nothing. I just want you to know
I'm
that.
just gonna get it right,
He's-
plain and
he's
simple.
not
So you don't
gonna
have to
get
give me
this one wrong.
anything.
He's not going to get this wrong.
Okay.
All right. Which feature of a DSLR typically helps reduce camera shake when taking handheld photos? Is it A, image stabilization, B, higher ISO, C, faster shutter speed, or D, continuous shooting mode?
Oh, I hope you get this wrong.
Let's make it fun. Let's go shutter speed.
Dude, he gave you one by not giving you one.
Shutter speed. Lock it in.
A, image
Oh
stabilization.
no! I should
saw
have
the
guessed
win.
that.
All righty. This last question, since it is tied, all right, because, well, I can't give anything away. This is going to be the first person to answer. I'm sorry if there's a delay on your part, Brady. I don't know if there is. So
I'm not.
we're just going to go with it. All righty. This camera,
Wait, how are we buzzing in?
you're not. You're just saying the answer the fastest.
Oh, so it's no ABC.
There's
just
no ABC.
First person to give the answer. Got it.
Brady, do you want me to text you
Mr.
the
Camera
question?
Junkie, I need you to move into the future.
How close? Like, Brady, when I snap, I want you to snap. You ready?
Yes.
He's gonna lose. Alrighty. We didn't do this on purpose. We're just making it up as we go. All right.
Everybody likes an underdog.
The
Go ahead.
camera that launched the DSLR revolution.
Canon.
Canon 5D Mark II.
Oh no. You're looking at the Canon. The Canon XT. No,
It's
the
done.
XS.
It's
It's
done.
done.
It's done.
It's done.
The 5D Mark II launched the revolution.
That's
The
what I said. There was
DSLR.
just a delay. The Canon
No.
5D Mark II.
Dude, the snap gave it away. It was like a 10-second delay, bro. We don't cheat here. We don't
Look,
cheat.
In your defense, I gave you a second, and you said Canon, and then you stopped.
And then he capitalized.
Listen,
I
let's
thought
just let it be known that I said shutter speed instead of image stabilization.
Yeah, and I said viewfinder. Okay, look, the game is what the game is. No, dude. Honestly, that was harder than it should have been.
Yes.
It's actually what I thought was really interesting though was like on his is that like there's some questions that have like multiple answers,
Yes.
and then when like especially like I guess for like people like me and Brady who like make educational content on YouTube, and people like go in the comments and start saying, well, actually, da da da. It's like, well, dude, that's because there's so many different answers to these things.
Yes.
But I will say I think shutter speed could help with the shakiness if you're taking photos. Just
No,
saying.
absolutely.
Just saying.
100%.
So Brady, I
I let it be known that I intentionally got that
no.
wrong.
No. The question. What feature of a DSLR typically helps reduce camera shake, not out of focus images? It's getting super technical.
Okay.
It's getting super technical.
I'm fine taking the win. We'll just say I took the win. Brady, it is always a blast to have you on the show.
Well, it'll be the last time. So
well, until I want to beat you at another game. Last time you were
Who won
here,
last time?
I did. Last time you were here, you actually, I
Wow.
think last time it was a tie.
yeah.
I think last time it was a tie, so it was good.
Dude,
You know,
I
it's funny because
enjoyed
people know
that
me
filmmaker breakdown.
as the nice guy, and I think that it showed when I just gave you both games. So anyway, moving on. What were you gonna say?
I think we can just always pull back up the tape. You know, it's very clear.
Yes.
That's why we record everything. This will be a clip for sure. I love that. Ruben says it's Brandon's show. He wins even if he loses.
I know. He actually in the briefing before he said you don't want to win, so just leave it at that. And then he said, "All right, we're going live," and I couldn't ask any questions. So I thought it was a threat. So
Here
we are.
It was not a threat. It was a recommendation. Dude, honestly, it was always great to have you on the show. Anything you got going on you want to share with the people? Anything cool you have coming up really soon?
I'm doing a giveaway. I'll call it that. I'm giving away lights.
All right.
I don't know when the video is going to come out. I think October 1st the video will come out, and I'm giving away an Aputure light. So that's the fun thing that is very engaging to all of us watching. You can win a light.
There you go. So if you guys want
October
to win some
1st,
lights,
maybe.
Is it one light or are you giving away a few?
I don't
I
know.
gotta let the people know.
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
He's gonna hold it close to the chest. Be sure to go follow Brady over on his YouTube channel because that's where he's going to be announcing the giveaway. Also, be sure to follow him over on Instagram because that's where I found out about the last giveaway. So definitely make sure you guys go give him a follow and keep up with his content. Dude, thank you so much for coming on the show, breaking down IBC to us and sharing all the cool new gear that you got a chance to actually see while you were there. So we appreciate you.
Thank you guys so much, and I appreciate you for having the best show on the internet. And that's all. So I can't wait to be around and prove to the world that I'm smarter than Brandon in this episode of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Photography Edition.
Goodbye, Brady. I'm kicking you off the show now.
Goodbye, guys. Bye,
you
everybody.
Later, man.
Oh, man. He is he's a character.
He's a swell dude.
He is. Actually, what I love about Brady is that like if like there've been times where I just like have random questions I just need answered. I can literally just pick up the phone, reach out, and he'll just help in a second.
I don't have Brady's number. Brady texted to me. But I will say, whenever I want to be inspired by incredible visuals, dude, Brady's just one YouTube video away.
That's it. Now, this week we obviously saw IBC happened, which was really big, and I kind of cut you off. What is that?
Brady's comment.
I felt like an attack. What do you mean by a character? What?
At first, I read the comment, and then I was like, "Who's saying that?" And then I realized it was him.
Oh, I don't get it. I cut you off earlier.
Yes.
Because something big did happen at IBC for you, Jarrell. And so I feel like
For us, Brandon.
it's for you.
For us.
For you. What is this? Last week it was we. This week it's us.
Yes.
This is very much a Jarrell thing. Jarrell, I'll let you share it with the people what happened.
So, earlier at NAB this year, the Sony Burano won Camera of the Year at NAB. But that was a little early because just at IBC, we have a new Camera of the Year, and it is the Canon C80, the best camera of the year, which I'm inclined to believe them. Because
wait, you're inclined? You're inclined to believe them?
And I will tell you, this is why. Yeah, this is why.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we're not going to talk about the Canon colors, which are great. We're not going to talk about the internal NDs, which is great. We're not talking about all this sort of stuff.
Oh my god.
You know what we're going to talk about, Brandon? Just for a second.
Yeah.
I think it is safe to say that the Canon C80 has the best autofocus.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Any camera alive.
You want to retract that?
That might be a little bold.
That's a very loaded...
That might be a little bold, but have I seen anything better? Oh, wait.
Okay, so if y'all haven't seen, there's this video going around right now with the C80.
Let me see if I can find it. I'll put it in the chat.
And they are showcasing eye autofocus on a dog. And I will have to say, the hard part about it is, does it do a great job? Yes, absolutely. It is phenomenal. The autofocus looks amazing. But
caveat.
We didn't see anything else next to it. So
True.
It's like, I feel like autofocus is one of those things for most cameras where, yes, you can do certain things to make the autofocus look fantastic. Lighting is a big key. Subject decision is a big key. Because I'll be honest, I shot with the C70.
It was a dog.
Yeah, but it does eye autofocus on a dog. Like, it has pet autofocus.
It was a dog.
That's fine. The C70 had human face detect autofocus, and the way it works on light complected people and melanated people were different.
The dog was black.
Okay. So they're more open to breeds than they are to different skin complexions. Got it. Thanks, Rob.
No, I'm saying the dog was like physically, like, I want to say it was black.
It was a black
so
dog.
I feel
It was a black and white dog.
I feel very
Look, Canon,
certain.
Please just send it out. Let us shoot with it. Let us test it and
That
share
if
it
you
with
can
the
do
people.
black, you can do brown.
Well,
I'm just
it's
throwing it out
different between a dog and a person, but okay.
We just posted the link on both channels, uncensored and if you're watching on Brandon's channel, check it out. Seriously, fight with me, chat. Don't fight with me, but fight with me. I believe that I'm saying I'm not even saying cinema cameras. I am saying it felt like photography. Get out of here. I'm saying even on the photography realm, like it's got that R3, it's got that A1 sort of sticky. Watch the video. Come back, watch it after the stream. Don't leave the stream.
Just sending people off stream. Go watch videos. But I will give credit where credit is due. The C80 definitely feels like a phenomenal camera. I think its price point helps it out a lot. But I will say, camera of the year right now, I think it's really interesting that it overtook the C400. That's it.
Well, here's the deal. It will move more units, right?
Yeah.
It'll move more units. And it retained all of the things that I think most people would want.
Yeah.
So, and it's coming in $3,000 cheaper.
I wonder.
And same sensor, same image.
I wonder how many C400 orders just got canceled. That's the metric that no one will ever share with me that I want to know. How many people pre-ordered the C400? They hadn't shipped, and they immediately canceled it and just bought like 2 C80s.
And I just wonder if the C80s will ship faster too.
I've seen more of them.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen more C80s in people's hands than I have seen C400s, but I think that that just makes sense.
Hey, Cam Mackey, I saw you test that Osmo 5 on your dog. Are you saying your favorite brand Canon is using dogs to test for human subjects? No, I'm saying they have the best autofocus in the world.
Wow. You just keep doubling down.
I'm just saying, show me something better.
Okay. We shall see.
That's not an action cam.
Speaking of action cams, we did get big news from DJI this week as well.
100%.
DJI, if you guys haven't seen, they released the new Action 5, and pretty much, I mean, I feel like it's safe to say they buried GoPro.
Dude.
It's sad to say. Is it?
It's wild. How are you going to be cheaper? How are you going to look better? Oh gosh, it's so hard.
It's
so hard.
Like if I'm working at GoPro right now, I'm nervous.
I am like I don't want to get canceled. I'm pro like American companies and American companies doing well. I want you to do well. But gosh, man, like I'm rooting for you.
Yeah. But you got to be
But
better.
that 5 though.
But what you buying though?
That 5 though. No. To be fair.
Oh,
This is how much I'm rooting for you. Oh, I even got it in my pocket. GoPro 12. Dude, thanks.
Are you buying it?
It's right. It's right
over there.
Yeah. Thank you to Brandon for sending him out a GoPro Hero 12. Love the camera, but that 5, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
That Action 5. By the way, if you guys haven't checked it out, Cam did release a video on the Action 5. So
yes,
definitely go check that out.
Potato Jet's video was so stinking revealing. He put up a 5, a 13, and a 4, I think.
Yeah.
And he didn't tell people until like halfway through the video. He just showed just all 3 side by side. And like people were like, yep, 5, 5, 5, 5. And they're like, why does a 13 look like that? Gosh, bro.
I think
that video was gosh.
I've seen a few. I've seen Becca, she released her video showing it up against the GoPro, and it's just like there's something different, bro. I don't know what GoPro needs to do.
Is it their sensors bigger?
I don't know. I don't know if it's how they choose to like process colors or what the actual like camera's doing, but it's just like
Cam,
it's got to be better.
I think it's their sensor. I mean, don't listen to me. I don't. But I think their sensor's bigger, and I think it just does better in low light.
Well, and then you got price. I mean, we got it here. It says new GoPro with lens mods and extra battery is like $1,000.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it. The one thing that I will say about the Action 5, so I know you have the internal storage.
The 50 gigs or something.
Yeah.
That's
moving in the right direction. Lens mods, I don't want that.
Yeah,
Put
no
some
anamorphic.
storage,
no anamorphic.
Yeah, I don't want anamorphic on I mean, Cam might, but
Cam does not want no anamorphic GoPro lens.
But I'm like, yo, you got to give me right now. You got to just put some storage inside this unit. There's no reason for anything else.
Dude, I love that you took it from your drones and you put it in your action cam.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah. So
and you didn't just put like 2 gigs. I'm not like a massive fan of DJI. Like I love DJI, I love my drones, but 2 gigs, really? 50? That's dope.
yeah, that's what we're talking about. Now just make that more. Give me up to like 256.
256, no need.
I don't want
for
it. I don't want it internal. I don't,
Yes.
I'm always losing
Well,
my micro SD cards
with
anyway.
50 gigs? Do you really? What are you shooting
So-
that you need more than 50?
So I had this conversation this week. The thing about, for me at least, when I've used action cameras, I am setting them in a spot, I am pressing record, and I am walking away for 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm mounting it to the side of a car, or if it's going to be like rigged like onto like a skateboard or onto like a surfboard or something like that. I don't do a lot of surfing stuff, but like the idea of like putting it on something, pressing record, and then walking away from it, and then just letting action happen and then coming back to it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, 50 gigs is good if you're like start stopping.
That makes sense.
But for a lot of action stuff, you're going to want to run longer. So 50, I think, is a great place to start for this year.
Mm-hmm.
Action 6, give me a 256 version.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine the space inside of it is drastically different between 50 gigs and 256 gigs.
Mm.
Like, I just can't imagine it's that much different.
I imagine it's really them wanting to be 50 or how many ever dollars that they're under GoPro.
Yeah. I feel like Cam says it. He says the same size sensor, newer processor that stays cooler, but is more powerful. Yeah, I feel like whatever they're doing under the hood, maybe that's what they need. They just, obviously they're trying to keep the price down, but also, you know, that processor in there, maybe that's why they can't have like as much internal storage. That's the only thing I would love to see change from this camera.
Yeah.
But everything else, dude, they're absolutely slaughtering it.
Dude, there are some tells to action cam footage.
Yeah.
But bro, cam, the video, like there's like times for those brief cutaways that you're like, man, that's a little dope image. Like action cams are coming so close. So close.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that you can do like you could do anything. You do a whole feature film on an action cam. But I think for these interchangeable quick shots,
yeah,
they're awesome. That 5 looks awesome.
Now, continuing along with some of this DJI news, we finally, I say finally, but it's just nice to get something.
Yes.
We finally got some more updates from this DJI mirrorless possible camera. Now, this is all rumors.
Yeah, this is on the bleeding edge of rumors, okay?
Yeah, I want to be honest, like a lot of cameras don't like initially excite me when I hear even the rumors of them. They don't typically excite me very much.
Yeah.
But I am so interested right now in what DJI could do with a mirrorless camera.
I think DJI is going to do a mirrorless camera because when we talked about this subject last time, it got like 44,000 views.
Yeah, if they weren't going to do one beforehand,
and
they
then
should
they
have
watched the
saw
show.
our show and was like, oh, we might want to, somebody working on this? We should definitely be working on this.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah, at least that should be at least what happened, right?
So when we say this is on the bleeding edge, it is on the bleeding edge. Someone translated Mandarin, okay? Like this wasn't even like printed in English. It was, so we're believing what they say.
Yes. Oh yeah, this is all allegedly.
Allegedly. But nothing on the specs, nothing on when it's coming out, but on a potential partnership with Huawei.
That makes me nervous.
before you talk about your nervousness, because there is reason for the nervousness, Huawei and DJI are the two biggest camera, or allegedly the two biggest camera manufacturers in China. And a partnership with them means incredible innovation with unlimited money. And I think they both have unlimited money, last time I checked.
I mean, I don't know if it's unlimited money. But look, this kind of like, I don't know. Huawei, I don't keep up with like phone stuff outside of like a couple Apple news, maybe some Samsung and like a Pixis, right? Like that's as far as I go.
Yeah.
But I do watch MKBHD. And I feel I feel like there was like a whole moment in time about Huawei just getting like flat out banned in America.
Are they still banned, chat?
Chat, you gotta let me know if Huawei is still banned, because like DJI is so close to getting banned themselves that I'm
Dude.
just like, do we really want them to partner with a company that's already banned? Because like, what would suck at this point is like my excitement level for this like maybe not even existing DJI camera is so high that like if finally it does come out and it's like, by the way, it's fully banned in America, like I'm like I got to make some internal decisions of like, okay, so I got to get a flight, I got to get there, and then how do I sneak it back, like, and like what is the charge if I get caught bringing that camera back here, because I'm gonna want to shoot with it. Like there's no way I'm not gonna want to get that camera.
It's like when your mom tells you don't hang out with those friends, and you're like, "Nah, I'm gonna hang out with worse friends, mama." That's what DJI is doing right now. Yeah. If you guys have heard of the news, again, sticking with the old DJI, another bill was passed in Congress. The first one kind of was dead on arrival. They tried to put it into a military spending bill, blah, 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 blah. The military bill did not get passed. And so, therefore, the first DJI ban, while it was passed in the House, was killed on the Senate floor. But they have revived the ban on not existing products of DJI in America, but any future DJI products in America. That has been passed at the House. It has been passed again. It's going up to the Senate. Who knows if it's going to happen? I tend to think, gosh, are people still on TikTok? People are still on TikTok.
Yeah.
The drone industry is too big of an industry. DJI is too big in that space. Do I think they're going to get banned in America? I think money always wins. I don't think they're going to get banned, but I do not think a potential partnership with Huawei is helping them.
No.
Find better friends.
Yeah. Or just
no disrespect.
Or just, keep it a secret. Just don't tell anybody. Y'all don't know who all my friends are.
Yeah, seriously. Y'all need to know.
Look, they say they're like some group chats don't need to be leaked for the world. You know what I mean? Like just keep it in the group chats. It's okay. So no, I honestly I feel like I don't want DJI stuff to get banned, because I do feel like on top of just the selfish like benefits from their innovation of like, oh, they have a better drone, they have a better action camera, like they make good products that I personally want to use. But I feel like if they were to get banned, that would obviously cut into their impact, their revenue, and everything, and then the rest of the industry would be able to almost like take a sigh of relief and maybe not have to try as hard, because we've already seen this year what competition can do.
Yeah.
I mean, Nikon just buying Red sent shockwaves.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't think that affected how Canon chose to release their cameras this year and the pricing of those cameras, I think you'd be wrong. I think then Nikon dropping the price of the Red and then the C80 coming out at such a low price, like even though we haven't seen from some other big players like Sony.
No, we've seen from them.
We haven't seen anything from Sony yet.
We've seen some firmware updates.
Oh, gosh. I feel like everybody right now is like on edge to bring their best. But I think if you ban someone like DJI and you pull them out of the equation, I think that actually makes the industry worse. So like you need to have that competition and keep it in play.
100%. Competition and Potato Jet's video will single-handedly be the reason why the Hero 14 is fire. You heard it here first. The Hero 14 will be fire.
Yeah, you think GoPro's gonna make on fire?
Dude, they
have no choice.
GoPro, if you have not watched Gene's video, go watch it.
They have to have watched it. I feel like if it takes a 2-year upgrade cycle, don't come back.
Y'all need to firmware update the 13 right now. No, y'all can't wait for the upgrades. Firmware update, magic, do something. And then the 14 better be the fire.
Yeah, make it that's what we need. Speaking of firmware updates.
Speaking of Sony.
Speaking of Sony and some firmware updates, Sony's back in the news with another firmware update. Look, I don't know. Where are my Sony shooters at in the chat? Somebody help me make sense of this.
Mr. Camera Junkie.
I wasn't gonna call anybody out by name, but go
No, he's a proud Sony user, dude. And you know what's wild? I feel like I don't even find enjoyment in the story. I know I like Canon, but like I don't find enjoyment in the story. And it can feel like sometimes we're even ragging on Sony. We just report the news as we see it, as it's not as we see it. Well, maybe that too, but as it comes out.
Yeah, we're just we report it. So let's run the firmware update.
Yeah, so Sony's been struggling. Well, allegedly. Because we ain't trying to get sued. Sony has allegedly been struggling with some firmware issues, obviously a couple months ago with the FX3 and blah, blah, blah. But now Sony, they literally put out a warning to their customers saying the latest A7R 5 firmware might brick your camera. So they're telling their customers, yeah, don't download it. It might brick it.
Yeah, I don't really understand how that process works. Like, I know with, I mean, this is going to sound like me bringing it back to what I do, but in the world of Red, whenever a firmware update comes out, typically there's like a beta where like they let people like try it. And then if there's an issue, you can give them the feedback. And then like, it's like a while before the actual final version of it comes out and you can just download it and add it to your cameras. And I actually like that process because you can kind of like test it out. But the nice thing about Red is if there is like a major issue, you can always just re-download the older version. I don't know what's going on with the Sony firmware updates, but like I feel like that is kind of getting more news than even some of their cameras that have been coming out lately. And obviously there are tons of existing Sony shooters. So when this type of thing happens, it impacts like a large group of people.
Yeah.
Which I think is sort of like the good and the bad of being like, you know, in the world of Sony. It's like Sony wins because, yes, there's a ton of users. And I think that's great for them. But if they come out with a firmware update and there's a problem with it because there's so many people who've adopted their cameras, it's going to affect a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like this sour taste after you try to do a firmware update and it breaks your camera or it potentially could break your camera that then makes you more hesitant about doing the next one.
For sure.
Like I remember like even back in the day with like Apple would come out with these updates and then it'd be like, you know, 3 or 4 days later, they'd be like, oh, we came out with an update to our update, you know, to fix whatever issue that we had. So now that was like years ago.
Yeah.
Even to this day, I will not update my phone or my computer like on the day of a new software update.
Never.
I'm going to wait at least a week or two. Sometimes I don't even do it at all because I'm just like, my stuff's working fine.
Yeah.
I don't really need the new update.
Sometimes I'll even be a whole like operating system back on
That's what
Apple.
I'm saying.
Yeah, and like literally wait for it to them to work on the next one and be like, okay, this one's probably stable. Because I remember too, like literally updating your operating software and then like Adobe doesn't work.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, we can't have that.
Yeah.
So
no, absolutely. I completely agree. All right, where are these Sony shooters at? I feel sorry for all the victims. Yeah, that's what kind of gets tough about this. It's like obviously we wanna report on it so that way if you are a Sony shooter and you didn't hear about this and you're thinking about doing a firmware update, don't.
yes.
But it does suck for those people who you know, all those Sony shooters. Quinn says he's a Sony for life though.
Sony for lifer.
Yeah. Good for you. I'm Sony when it's convenient. That's definitely. But Mike says that he updated it, no problems whatsoever.
That's awesome.
So I guess maybe it's just like by camera,
or maybe they've already like tweaked it.
Yeah, like they pulled the bad one, tweaked it, and then put up the new one.
Because we pulled story on Wednesday, and yeah, so hopefully they've already fixed it. I'd imagine that'd be top priority because if you have a bricked camera, that's just going to overload your service centers and customer service and all sort of stuff.
No, yeah, you got to fix that quick. You got to pull that one. Tommy in the building. What's up, dude? Haven't talked to you in a while. He says, my FX6 hasn't been updated since I bought it. It's fine. Dude, like, that's literally how it be. Like, I'll be honest, like, sometimes I never upgrade it. I think my Canon R3 has an update. I haven't done it.
Yeah.
Just like, what I needed to do, it does fine.
I live a risky life.
Speaking of risky, a company actually just announced a product that I think is incredibly risky today.
And it's a foreshadowing of why we played the game we played.
Yes. DSLRs are officially making a comeback.
Dude, and do you know what brand is bringing it back?
This whole story feels like
And
a
chat,
joke.
if you had to guess who was going to bring back a flagship DSLR, not mirrorless, DSLR camera,
in 2024.
what brand do you think is bringing the DSLR back?
Now, I'll give you a hint. I initially thought it could have been Sony. They did bring back the camcorder this year. I was like, maybe this is the year of retro cameras, but it was not Sony.
That'd be interesting. I wonder if Sony can make DSLRs hot.
They couldn't make DSLRs hot when they made DSLRs.
They make mirrorlesses hot, so I think they can.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying.
No, physically hot.
I remember working at Best Buy when the Sony DSLR, I think it was like the A99 or something like that. Or no, it was the A9. That's what they had. It was the A9. But no, we do have the answer in the chat.
Mr. Michael, it is not Canon. Canon would not do that.
Canon's bringing it back. Just kidding.
Fujifilm, that seems like a. I don't know.
Fuji could have done it.
They could have done it.
They could have done it, but unfortunately, it was not them.
But let's see who decided to waste all of their money in 2024.
It was Pentax.
It was Pentax. Pentax is going to release, allegedly, a 61 megapixel DSLR camera. Man, that reminds me of kind of like the 5DSs.
Yeah.
Back
5 years
in
ago.
the day.
5 years ago.
Ain't nobody want that.
Look, I thought this story is funny because like just because something is news doesn't mean it is news. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Dude, first of all, I didn't even know Pentax was still making new cameras.
Dude, they just came out with, no hate, a film camera. And I think that
makes more sense.
And I think that they were like experiencing a little like, oh, pretty good. People like it, blah, 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 getting a little press.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do a DSLR.
They went too far.
They went too far.
Yeah. Like, DSLRs are not retro yet.
Yes.
Like people like film because it's retro. There's vintage vibes. There is a little bit of that nostalgia. We don't have that for DSLRs yet.
Give us some poor autofocusing.
We're not there yet.
Yeah, seriously. Give me that blurry look.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like we're not ready for nostalgic DSLRs yet.
Oh, but Ron makes a great point.
What is that?
Maybe in America we have an aging population that doesn't want all these fancy little mirrorless toys. They want something real they can put in their hand that clicks.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Grandpa's going to Walmart or the Best Buy and he's picking up that Sony
that R5.
I don't know about that.
That R5 Mark II.
He's gonna pick up whatever that Best Buy employee tells him to buy, and that's gonna be it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No, Mike says Pentax had some old stock. they just dusted off some of their old DSLRs and was like, what if we just just change out the sensor on this thing real quick?
I was gonna say the label.
Just take the like what was the last Pentax DSLR? What were the specs? Do you even know?
Dude, I don't.
Exactly. They literally could just re-release their last camera and we would all be like, yeah, I guess that's new. I don't know.
Dude, no idea.
I didn't even look at the last one. Yeah, someone says, did Pentax recently release a black and white DS? No way they did that. There's no way they did it.
Dude, if they're releasing it, they gotta be making something.
No, they ain't doing nothing.
Oh, this is what I do love about this purported DSLR flagship camera. It's gonna shoot very fast.
What does that mean?
That's it.
Is that the spec?
And yes, it is a rumor, to be fair. And then it shoots 4K and higher, which why wouldn't you put the higher? Why wouldn't you say it shoots 6K? Why would you say 4K and higher?
Because it shoots 4.6K, and that just doesn't look as good on a spec sheet.
Oh my
gosh,
4K and higher.
I don't get it. There's some people who there's some of these brands that are just making decisions, and they're not. I don't think they're talking to anybody. I think they're just doing stuff. I think they're literally just doing stuff. But yeah, someone says the R2. Yeah, you got, bro. I think you have. I'm gonna rant here for a second, Jarrell. I think you have single-handedly changed the entire fabric of the audience of this show. You came in,
Mr. Camera Junkie. I almost said it, and then I was like, I don't know if enough people remember that moment.
You have single-handedly converted this show to being like a half Canon fan people.
Yes.
It's like a Canon fan people safe place.
Yes.
So they just keep showing back every week. But of course, yes, they probably will be picking up that R5 Aputure.
Bro, I didn't get well, I told you not to go off the stream, but we did not get one single person say that ain't the best autofocus in the world.
Oh God. I'm gonna move on.
Not a single soul.
Well, all right, then let's rank some stuff. Let's see what people do care about.
Oh yes. Let me pull this up real quick.
Now, chat, we're gonna wrap up today with this last little game because we need to figure out. We have a couple things we want to rank and see really where they sit. But if you've never been a part of this before, we do this thing called Ranked and Reveal, where we're gonna rank some stuff, or Jarrell's gonna ask me really to rank some stuff, and he's not gonna tell me what's coming next. Now, I have not seen this list at all, so this will be very, very live, very raw. So please don't judge any of my answers.
Judge him, chat.
No, hold on. I got to get the rest of my what is it called? My where you have to like preference all your answers. Like if I say anything bad, don't judge me, don't cancel me. What's that called? What is it called?
Oh, is that your disclaimer?
Yes, my disclaimer. These are my disclaimers. I don't know what's coming next. I don't even know the categories. And unfortunately, I put Jarrell in charge of this, and he tends to like to catch me off guard every now and again. So, Chad, I'm gonna need y'all's help here.
This is kind of this is a little personal too. This is a little personal. Some of them are not personal. Some are very brand. Anyways, we'll just get into it. All right, rank and reveal. Cinema lenses, budget cinema lenses. You ready?
Yeah. Okay.
So that gives you a little bit of scope.
Okay, that helps a lot.
Okay. My favorite, the Athena Primes, 1 through 5.
1 through 5
being the best.
Yeah.
5 being the worst. Chat, Athena Primes. If you had to give it a ranking, 1 to 5.
But I don't know. But you're not telling me the other ones.
But you
yet.
don't know the next one.
Athena's, dude. I think I'm gonna put them at a 3. Be safe.
Okay. The DZO Arls.
I've never shot with them, but I've seen some footage from them. They're expensive. I'm gonna put them at a 4.
They're about 2,000.
I think I'm gonna put them at 4 because of the price.
Okay. Wow, being real safe. Okay. Irix.
Oh, that's really hard. I shouldn't have done that. I only have a 2, right? I want to give them a 2, but they don't have a full set, and it's very frustrating. Dang, I'm gonna screw myself. I think I'm gonna have to put the Irix.
You're wild.
I think I'm gonna have to put the Irix at a 5.
Have you seen him squirming? You see him squirming right now?
Because I like the lenses. I don't have a 65, and they don't have anything further than that.
Chat, make sure you let us know. If you just put numbers, we won't know what you're doing. So some of y'all are putting
Someone says Irix 4.
Ron, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
FSB, you're doing the right thing. Alrighty. The Blazar Remus.
Oh, I guess that's 1. What's my number 2 then?
Siru Nightwalkers.
I've messed up. I almost said something else. I almost messed up.
This is a kid's show, Brandon. This is not a kid's show. It's a kid-friendly show.
I know.
All right. Camera bodies. We're going in hard. You ready?
All right, so we're ranking these 5.
Sub 2,500.
Okay, so we're ranking these 5 sub 2,500 camera bodies, but you're not going to tell me what comes next.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Canon R6 Mark II.
4.
Wow. Chat, roast him, bro. Roast him, bro.
I don't know what's coming next. Oh, wait, what is it? Sub 2,500?
Sub 25.
Oh. Yeah, 4.
Wow.
I don't know what's on the list.
You're going to love there's only so many.
I know.
You ready?
Yeah.
The Nikon Z6 Mark III.
2. I don't even know what I'm holding number 1 for now.
GH7.
It's a 5, bro.
The GH7 5?
GH7's a 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Micro Four Thirds. I might screw it up.
All right. You ready for this?
Yeah.
The Fujifilm XH2S.
XH2S?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about that camera. Wait, is that the... No, that's not the medium format one, right?
Mm-mm.
Oh. Then I guess I'm putting it at a 3. So what's my number 1?
Sony A7 IV.
It's not a number 1, but it's okay at a number 1.
You should have put Canon up there.
No.
You should have been Canon R6 Mark II.
No.
Nikon Z
No.
Mark
Disagree.
III. This is mine. This
No,
is mine
doesn't
because
matter.
I know what they are.
But you're telling me what I should have done, which means you're wrong.
And then the Sony A7 IV for me. And then the Fujifilm.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually love that. I have a buddy that shoots on Fujifilm 4 and then the GH7 5.
So here's the difference. You're telling me what I should have done, but you knew all the brands and I knew nothing. You had the answers.
Yes. Alrighty. You ready for this?
Yes.
Because it is iPhone drop date,
Let's do it.
we're going to do best camera phone for video.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
The Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra.
6.
Okay, so 5. Wow. Chat, you're offended. I can tell. Unless you're iPhone users. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
I can't even pronounce their name.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to help you out here, Jarrell. This is a really bad one because all of them are going to be 6, except for whenever you say iPhone.
You ready for this?
Yeah.
It's the Xiaomi, the
Xiaomi.
Xiaomi
Yeah.
14 Ultra.
Yep. That's a 6.
Made by their camera on the back of their phone was made by Leica and has a variable aperture.
3.
Wow. Okay, iPhone 16 Pro Max.
1.
Okay, Google Pixel 9 Pro XL.
2.
Wow, so what do you have left?
4.
The iPhone 15 Pro Max.
Oh, that's messed up. That's messed up. Okay, whatever.
We're playing dirty. Alrighty. And you want to know the last one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, gosh. I feel like I've led you into the den. Filmmaking YouTubers.
I don't want to play. I don't want to play.
Scott says, welcome, Scott. Likeable license to anyone.
Bro, wait. Okay.
You ready?
Just in case this gets clipped the wrong way.
No.
Hold on. I got to set
It's not going to get clipped the wrong way.
This is going to get clipped the wrong way.
This is not even like the best. Well, you're ranking them, so.
So what am I ranking though? Like, is it like my favorites or like
you're however you subjectively feel right now.
ranking what again?
YouTubers, filmmaking YouTubers.
I don't like this.
You ready?
No. I don't want to play.
Scott says toasty.
I do not want to play.
Okay. Wow. This is gonna be. I will say
This is
that
gonna be
all
tough
of
for
these YouTubers are under 500K except one. So you get.
That doesn't help me at all.
Okay. All right. You ready? Okay. Mark Bone. You know him?
Not personally.
Well, do you know his channel?
Yeah, the doc.
Mhm.
Yeah, art of documentary.
Mhm.
Because I don't know him, and I'm afraid you're gonna throw one of my friends in here.
Would I do that to you, bro?
100% you do that to me. But sorry, Mark. I'm sure one day we'll meet. But 5.
He's doing everything that he can to literally be good. Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Peter McKinnon.
I don't know him either.
This man's about to be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
No. Peter. I'll solid 2 for Peter.
Okay.
Yeah, he's inspired the entire landscape.
Philip Bloom. Which I was kind of surprised he was under 500K because that man's a legend.
He is a legend. But you got to be like super nerdy to sit down and watch his stuff.
He is for the nerds.
4.
Wow.
Yeah. If I was still shooting Canon, 100%, probably be much higher.
He
But-
shoots everything, bro.
Yeah, but
He's agnostic.
I think when I jumped in with him, he was a very Canon shooter. So
for sure.
4.
You ready for this?
Yep.
Make art now.
Ooh, what do I have? 1 and 3 left?
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, you're gonna screw me over. I already know it. Josh Yo's content, fantastic. Dang it. I'm gonna go 1.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I think you're gonna love your list.
Okay.
Last one, Valendez.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, you know him.
I do know him.
You do know him.
Oh,
No,
what?
you don't know him, but you've seen his content.
I have. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't keep up with most people's names.
Yeah.
So 3?
Yeah.
Cool.
Alrighty. So what do you have? You
I have
had.
Josh Yo, number 1.
Yep.
Peter McKinnon, number 2.
Yep.
Valendez, number 3.
Yep.
Who's Valendez?
You know him. That's all I'm just saying. You know him. He does like all of like the bro. He's got those freaking. We've talked about his what the vintage lenses.
Okay.
Valendez.
Philip Bloom was number 4, and number 5 was who did we put at number 5? Oh, Mark Bone.
Mark Bone.
I think I'm okay with that list. Valendez. That name sounds familiar. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Dude,
he's fire.
his stuff is fire. Oh,
He's
yeah,
fire.
that's a solid.
Yeah.
That's a solid number 3. I don't know him personally either.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a solid number 3. Okay, yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, because even way that you put it, like all of these are like really great people that make awesome stuff. Like, who are you gonna put it? Like, genuinely, who are you gonna put at 5? Like in the real world, like
yeah,
they're
no,
all really good.
Yeah, no, I think you did a good job with that list. I was ready for you to just like
No,
friend after friend after
No.
friend.
What friend do you like best?
Exactly.
Tamaki,
That's what.
Kofi, Brittany,
Yeah, that's
Brady.
That's basically what I thought the list was gonna be. I thought that was gonna
I'm
be the
not
list.
evil, bro. Plus, Brady might still be on here.
He ain't on here.
Brady 5.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't play. I would plead the 5th.
Oh my gosh.
All right, well, guys, we've had a quite a show. We've had a blast. Let us know in the chat. Oh, for FSB, we're talking about Josh Yo, Make Art Now. That's who we're talking about.
Look up his channel if you like to like DIY stinking like see like the bleeding edge of camera tech stuff, and he just makes stuff for cameras. He's awesome.
Yeah, no, yeah, and he's also what I like about his content is like I know that DJI sends him stuff, and then like when he starts basically breaking it to find new ways to do it, I just can imagine their like marketing team just squirming.
Yes. I feel like they probably send this man prototypes, not even
Yeah,
like
they're like
full.
They're like, don't give him a production version. There's no
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're better off sending him the prototype and let him play with it. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I would plead the 5th if it was a
Yes.
friends list. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in for this week's episode of Uncensored. Jarrell, I think you did a pretty good job on the games this week.
Thank you, sir.
I was nervous. Not gonna lie to you. I was expecting you to totally screw it over.
He can breathe easy now.
A sigh of the last time you had me do products, it was like all my friends' products. So don't act like this isn't like uncalled for.
Bro, I've got a short memory, man.
You're like, did I say that? We can roll the tape. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for this week's episode of Uncensored. Jarrell, any last words?
Peace.
See you guys next week.